So 2020 has been a very challenging year. We've had some really good releases. Case in point, the fragrance I'm holding in my hand, which you guys have asked within the whole Renaissance collection from AMOUAGE. You guys asked me to do this particular fragrance, the full review on. I talked about in the video, in a previous video that I talked about first impressions in the whole collection, which I'll pop it up here if you guys want to check out that video. But in particular, you guys were really fond and really wanted me to do a full-fledged review on AMOUAGE's Meander 2020 release. If you guys want to know all about this fragrance, stick around. You're in for a treat. Welcome back to another video. Max Forti here. First and foremost, I wanted to thank you guys all for interacting with me through the poll and through Instagram. You guys have been amazing and fantastic. Love the feedback. And thank you so much for voting. You guys voted, I think, over 46%, close to 48% on this fragrance right here. You guys wanted a full review on this among other 5 fragrances I think I had there in that poll. So without any further ado, we're going to talk about this Eau de Parfum release 2020 Meander from the house of AMOUAGE, in particular the Renaissance collection. And by the way, before I jump into this, if you guys want to get like more in-depth details about this fragrance and also Assure, which are actually both fragrances that were produced and created by the creative director Renaud Summer, along with Perfumer Mackenzie Reilly, go check out my Instagram, the IGTV, which I have a review / interview about this fragrance and Assure and the whole creative process and how these fragrances became reality with Mackenzie Reilly herself. So if you guys want to check that out, go check out my Instagram TV to check out the full thoughts and full in-depth details and overview on this particular fragrance. But let me give you my take on it right now. Quick background on how this fragrance collection came about, the Renaissance collection. It's actually an interpretation of AMOUAGE into the actual Sultanate of Oman, which is the actual region that these particular fragrances radicate from. So each one of these creations, all 4 in totality, Crimson Rocks, Assure, Meander, and Enclave, they actually portray regions of Oman. And we're going to find out about what region and what kind of a natural and nature aspect this particular fragrance portrays in this creation. So from the website here of AMOUAGE themselves, Meander is supposed to explore the exhilarating feeling of happiness in a land of fog, lush green mountains, and running streams. The inspiration from this fragrance, the region, the actual place, is actually the plateau of Dhofar, which is actually in the southern region of Oman, and it's very famous for its monsoon season, quote unquote, the Kharif season, which is very well celebrated by the natives of Oman. Let's get into the presentation, guys. So I love what they did here with the actual casing. I love the new presentation style. You know, previous presentations of AMOUAGE, you had the little pedestal where the fragrance, you know, you could put the fragrance like a little stand, like a pedestal where the fragrance would stay there, and you could actually encase the fragrance for storage purposes. In this particular situation here, it's actually a magnetic flap case. I do love the presentation here. It sits perfectly in this foam-like velvety encasing. Fits beautifully. You can, you know, put your fragrance, you know, away without getting sunlight or without getting, you know, hit by natural, you know, light or temperature changes. There is a beautiful saying here that explains the whole character of Meander, how it came about. There's a signature here from Mackenzie Reilly herself back in September 2020 when this fragrance was actually finalized. And the key fragrance notes here are olibanum, carrot heart, pink pepper, black pepper, orris, rose absolute, cypriol, jonquil absolute, olibanum, resins, vetiver oil, and sandalwood. Now, love the casing, love what they did here. The bottle itself is this seafoam green, beautiful. I mean, it's as good as they come, guys. When it comes to AMOUAGE presentation, I think they do a fantastic job. Metal, heavy metal cap, magnetic with the jewels. They all have these little beautiful interpretation jewels. The AMOUAGE symbol in the middle, AMOUAGE Meander, details and batch code at the bottom. We're going to do a little spray here to show you guys the sprayer. Pretty good, nice distribution. And the smell, oh, the smell. So from all 4, you know, releases here from this Renaissance collection, I have to say, and you guys probably know it by now, this is my favorite. So I'm actually very happy that you guys chose me to review this fragrance. Right from the get-go, it is going to be a very green. There's definitely an orris feel here, an orris butter, which along with the sandalwood adds creaminess to the fragrance. It's very green, it's very earthy. There's a gorgeous vetiver here. There's also a cypriol note, which adds this fruity and also woodsy, smoky undertone. Along with the vetiver and frankincense, you definitely have the smoky facet here. But one thing I have to say, it's not going to be a heavy fragrance. It's not dark at all. It's not heavy incense like, you know, other iterations of this particular collection like Memoir Man or Epic Man or Interlude Man, which is the Blue Beast. This is going to be a little more tamed in the smoky and earthy facets, but it's also going to be one of those fragrances that you're definitely going to get your presence felt. It is one of those fragrances. AMOUAGE does it well. It is intriguing. In fact, out of all 4 creations, I think this is the most exotic of all creations, and I also love that carrot seed in the heart, which adds this fruitiness and sweetness to the fragrance. Very unique, very exotic, and the most intriguing fragrance when it comes to the transition on my skin from all 4 compositions, which I've tried heavily over the past couple of months. I believe these were released in September 15th, so I've had them in my collection for literally 3 months now. Meander is classified as a woody, aromatic, woody, spicy composition. So the green facet, it's very vegetal. As you know, Mackenzie Reilly explains it herself. There's definitely a vegetable kind of a nuance here that's green, aromatic. There's the earthiness from the vetiver, the cypriol, and I think all these characters are quite pleasant and very present in this composition. You can't really pinpoint one or the other, with the exception of a few that I'm mentioning here for you, but I think it's very well blended, it's very well meshed together in a sense that it's a great fragrance and a great olfactory, journey from beginning to end. So the opening of this fragrance is definitely green. It's definitely very luscious. It's a little bit creamy. I definitely get the woodsy, fruity carrot seed nuance here. Definitely peppery. There's the pink pepper, the black pepper that we talked about. It's not overbearing, but it is one of those fragrances that's going to definitely set you apart, and definitely it's going to make your presence felt. You're going to be noticed. I love the way they did it here. The orris butter is quite present. If you like fragrance like Dior Homme, it's not the same fragrance. It's not, sweet, iris that you get with that fragrance. It's almost chocolatey. Instead, it's going to be more of an earthy, buttery, creamy sandalwood orris here, but also very, very good quality, guys. There is a slightly floral undertone given by Jonquil, and also I think there is also rose absolute in this fragrance, if I'm not mistaken. So there's going to be some floral nuances, but mainly for support. It's not up front and center. It's not the highlight of the fragrance, but it's definitely here. The heart, you definitely have sandalwood and the cypriol playing a very key role to the transition of the fragrance from the beginning through the heart into the dry down. I love the cypriol here, which adds this really nice earthy and woodsy facets to the fragrance, and the sandalwood just adds this absolutely stunning creaminess to the fragrance that's really present from the heart now all the way into the dry down. I have the dry down here. And I have to say, like I said before, from all 4 compositions, this is the one that kept me coming back for more. I just couldn't get enough. I don't know what it was about this fragrance, but it was just very captivating and intoxicating. My wife loves this fragrance. Everybody that I showed this fragrance to, including on Thanksgiving, and I met with some family members, they absolutely loved this fragrance. They wanted to know what it was, and they wanted to see if they can get it for themselves. This is the kind of impact that this fragrance had on me and people around me. So needless to say, amazing. This has frankincense here, however, it's not going to be, like I said, that smoky variety. It's more of a green. Just so you guys know, there are many different varieties of frankincense. This is a silver frankincense. It's very, original and natural to this region, the Yemeni region. This one here is going to be more of a green tinge to this frankincense. It's not going to be very smoky as you get with Interlude Man, for example, because of the notes it was paired with. It's actually very nice, very intriguing, but also not overbearing. One thing I want to mention is it is very fitting to the green here of the bottle. The dry down brings forth this beautiful Japanese vetiver, which really envelops the composition. All the notes I talked about, the beautiful nuances along with the creamy sandalwood, but the vetiver is very predominant in the dry down. I love vetiver. Needless to say, I think it was very well made. I think Renaud Salmon and Mackenzie Reilly knocked it out of the park with Meander. 3 words that I would use to summarize the smell of Meander. This is green. It's earthy and it's intriguing. Let's talk about performance. So Meander lasted 8+ hours on my skin. If you spray your clothes, it's going to be 10+. It pushes very strong for the first 2 hours plus. You're going to get noticed. It's going to give you a tremendous above average sillage. So if you like performing fragrances, powerful scents, this one here is no different. We know AMOUAGE does it well, and this one here is definitely a great performing scent. Seasons, AMOUAGE Meander can easily be worn as a signature scent if you're looking for one. It's also a fragrance that's gender-free, even though this is more of a masculine creation. You can see from the bottle, this is from the men's line. But it's definitely very gender-free, very unisex. I think anyone, a gal or guy, could pull this off beautifully. You can dress this up, dress it down. Like I said, it's versatile enough. However, for my, collection, for all intents and purposes, for my rotation here, I like to wear this mostly in the early fall, definitely for spring and summer, but definitely for early fall and spring, I think are going to be the 2 seasons where this is going to shine the best. And even though this fits the versatility of, men and women, gender-free, I believe this is going to be a little bit more mature. I think if you have a you know, very well seasoned nose. If you're a connoisseur and you're 25 and up, you'll appreciate this fragrance. However, I think if you're someone who's really used to designer fragrances, you might not love this particular fragrance, especially for the price point. But if you do appreciate the finer things in life, you're definitely gonna love this one. It's definitely one of those fragrances that's going to give you an edge, and it's gonna make you stand out in the crowd. It's totally off the beaten path here. Final thoughts on Meander here from the House of AMOUAGE. An amazing creation, a great release for 2020, one of my favorites. As you guys will see featured on my top 10 best releases of 2020. This is definitely up there. Congratulations, kudos to Renaud Salmon and Mackenzie Reilly for this great release. I am, excited for the future of the House of AMOUAGE, this new era now with Renaud Salmon. I can't wait to see, future releases. I know a few things that I can't really disclose to you guys, but all I can say is stay tuned because you guys are in for a treat in the next few months or in the next couple of years. They are collaborating with some amazing perfumers, and I, for one, can't wait to check the future releases of this brand. So that's all I have for you guys today on Meander from the House of AMOUAGE. If you guys appreciate the review, if you guys like what I do here, please do show your support. Leave it on the like, touch the subscribe button, touch the little bell icon so you guys get constant videos into your feed of new releases, top videos, and everything that I do for you guys here. I keep you in the know in the fragrance world. I keep you guys informed. That's what I do here. And again, if you guys appreciate that, show your support. As always, remember, fragrance is emotion. It's an extension of your character, so choose your fragrance wisely and wear what truly moves you. I'll see you guys again right back here with another video very soon. Take care.